the show.
Hello and hello and hello. How you doing? Welcome to the Roosta Show. We have a very special guest today, Pel Templar. And yes, that's the same Pel Templar from Templars and Vires.
Vires, or the correct Latin pronunciation is Vires, but
Thank you
a
for
lot of people
correcting
used to
me.
call it the Bees virus. So whatever, it's all good, man.
I love the band. Been a
Thanks.
big fan, man. Were you
Thank-
on The Fight Goes On?
Yes,
Oh, love it.
yeah,
Okay.
that was a band me and Anthony from Hard Knocks started right after I moved to LA back in 2019. Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing with those guys. We're all still friends, but
That's good.
circumstances happen.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
explain all that later in the interview.
Yeah. That's good. That's all
Yeah.
right. That's this is actually. Hey, listen. I am a big time goth rocker, man. I love the oi scene. I love punk rock,
Yeah.
but I've been a goth rocker since the beginning. Look at my fingernails. All right, there you go.
All right, cool.
All right, did that for the show. Anyway, so I appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing. You're doing Shattered is top of the line. I love it. Top of the food chain. I like it. It's good
Thank you
stuff.
for
Good
that.
meat.
Thanks, man.
Good meat for the dance floor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enough with the ass kissing now. Okay. So, man, I know that you've been a part of the oi scene for a long time. That's where I know you from.
Yeah.
And then you pull this band like a left hook. What's going on with this?
All right. Well, honestly, man, I've been in a punk rock most of my life. I mean,
Yeah.
I've literally grown up with this stuff. I started listening to punk. I got exposed to it through a classmate freshman year of high school, which is like winter 79, 80. That's when I first started listening to it. And, first album I ever got was, the first Clash album. Totally changed my life. Changed the way I looked at music. because before that I was like kind of more or less, in a lot of the rock stuff of the day. I was a huge Kiss fan, Zeppelin, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So hearing the first Clash record when you're in that stuff, and it just totally blew my mind.
Yeah.
It just went from there. I went from that, got the Sex Pistols album, what at the time was the current Damned album, Machine Gun Etiquette, and et cetera, et cetera.
Ooh, yeah, the list just goes.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
the bands that were new at the time, like UK Subs, Angelic Upstarts, Cockney Rejects, all that kind of stuff. The Ruts, loved all that stuff.
Yeah.
California stuff too, like Group Six, the first X record.
Yeah. Black Flag, man. You can't get
Yeah,
around Black Flag.
yeah. Oh, Black
Circle
Flag.
Jerks.
Yeah, first I got into Black Flag era. Yeah, around maybe beginning of '81. The first Black Flag record I ever got was Jealous Again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the current Black Flag record at the time. It had just come out when I bought it. And
Yep.
yeah, I love early everything up until Henry. I love
Yeah,
but
exactly.
and Damaged was good. The first time I saw them was
Yeah.
on the tour.
Nervous Breakdown, just
Yeah,
that was the album that took me over the top, man.
yeah.
For my
That's my
people.
favorite Black Flag record to this day. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect EP.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
but
right there, man.
yeah.
Anyway, so yes. Okay.
But anyway, all
Yeah.
that to say, parallel to that, I was getting into post punk too. Like actually, Killing Joke War Dance, when that came out, I heard it on my local college radio station, was blown away. Forever After became a huge Killing Joke fan. Joy Division, I was like way into them.
Totally. Yep.
Like a 45 Grave, first 7-inch, that Black Cross 7-inch. I bought that, was blown away by it. So I was listening to all that stuff like in conjunction with all the punk rock stuff at the time. So I've always had a
They
love.
do. They are kind of hand to hand,
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can. It's on the same smorgasbord. That's what I try to deal with everybody here on my show. I deal with the Skins. I deal with punks, goths, and dark wave, and down to ribbon heads. Because we're all a part of the same family, man. We're all an underground family.
Different branches of the same tree, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it's every one of these scenes are like a little part of my heart, my soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I got into all the Oi stuff like way before I became a skinhead too. I got interested in Oi after the Southall riot. I kind of knew about it before that, but after Southall happens, that made the news, in the States. I remember seeing it on my local a riot at and I was like, wow. So I went out the next weekend. I remember distinctly. I went down to Wax Trax Records, which is where carried all the British imported punk rock shit. Went down there the next week and bought Strength Through Oi, and it was a life-changing event, and kind of the same way the Clash record was for me. I was like, wow. Because it's like these bands were pretty much singing about I grew up on the south side of Chicago,
yes, sir.
But they were singing about the hood, just like in a different country across the Atlantic. But they were singing about the same shit that I was dealing with, growing up in Chicago every day. So I could I could totally relate to it in a way.
Totally relate, yeah.
I couldn't really relate to the LA bands who I loved. I loved TSOL, I loved the Adolescents and those kinds of bands, but they weren't. They were suburban guys. They weren't dealing with the same stuff I was dealing with in inner city Chicago.
They're an interesting breed. They're the Cali ones. They're like surf punky, and all that. It's different, Yeah, it is. Orange County punks and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're cool. They're good.
Yeah, the music was great and all.
But but they're
some of it different. I can relate to on a different level, but
it's best to relate with something that you relate with.
Yeah, whereas like the Oi stuff and the UK82 stuff, Exploited, all that kind of that hit home with me a lot more. I think
that's cool, man.
Personal level.
I like your Death Cult shirt, man. Definitely, they're awesome.
Yeah, this is really the sweet spot in their whole history. Southern Death Cult was cool. Yeah. I love the Cult. I've seen them.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Times over the years. I mean, I love most of their records. Especially
Sonic Temple took it over the top.
Sonic Temple is an amazing record. One of the best hard rock records ever. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, this 12-inch was like the sweet spot. That is like one of my all-time favorite records.
Yeah, I definitely found I've a definite love for a lot of music, but it's on the dance floor and with just the people. I've related a lot with the goths. I mean, I kind of with the emotion, the passion behind it, and
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a certain strength and energy behind OA, and that brotherhood, that's
Yeah.
really cool, and this skinhead scene that is not the same as any other scene, and like you said, you're a skinhead, okay? Now that's a totally different. I mean, like you talk about that, and I mean, some people just already are like probably turning off the Rooster Show right now, because they don't know best,
Yeah.
So tell me what it means to you, so you can clarify yourself real quick. What does
I
it
don't
mean to
know.
you to be the skinhead?
I don't know. It's hard for me to really say at this point. I'm just myself, I just do what I
Yeah.
want. I don't really label myself particularly in any category these days. But skinhead to me, well, I mean, if you look at the roots of skinhead, it basically goes back to like a marriage between working class Jamaican immigrant culture and British white working class culture in the UK. And the original music, that they all listened to was like American soul and Jamaican ska and reggae,
Yeah.
black music.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the roots of the culture are like, it's a mixed marriage between like two different, cultures. So if
Yes.
you look at it from that perspective, when you get into all the like, that racist stuff and stuff that came afterwards,
Ugh.
it's like, just, doesn't make any sense.
Boneheads.
Yeah, I don't,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
yeah.
All they
It's like
do is
it's like a
it's like
totally different.
identity stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the skinhead culture that I know and love.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
69, baby.
yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I was still thinking about the other 69.
Yeah.
Okay, either way, it's still a good number.
Exactly. Word. Yeah. 100.
Okay, real quick. Okay, we're gonna go to another subject. How did you get involved with the Templars? I know that you're not an original member,
No, I
but
actually, yeah,
about
I
it.
joined the band in 1996, or buried. Well, actually, into '95, I played my first show with them, and I think it was February of 1996 when I played my first show with them. But how I met those guys was actually a couple of years before that. There was like a Oi festival in Washington D.C., and I was kind of, only peripherally involved with the scene. I was kind of like not very active at that particular time. But I heard about this event, and there were a lot of bands. I was like, hey, I'll go check it out. So so me and a few friends, we drove out to it, and yeah, the Templars happened to be playing. I never heard of them at the time, even, and I think if I remember correctly, Oxblood played that as well. That's where I met all those guys. Was
Yeah, good
yeah,
boy. I like my boys.
yeah, met Eddie and all those guys there, and still friends
Frank and
with them, and and Gordon to this day. Yeah, that was a really really good time. But anyway, we met. I liked, I saw them play. I liked the band a lot. I met Phil and Carl, and they were great guys.
yeah, Carl.
We
Yeah,
told, this is way before this is before the internet and cell phones and all that. So we just exchanged information basically and started, writing each other. We kept in touch over the years and became better friends. And so the business, fast forward to 1995, the business came over to play their first American show in New
yeah,
York, at Tramps in New York. And I went out for that. And, Templars played that as well. And Scott, our mutual friend Scotty from Piston Broke, and he also sings in the press now.
yeah, yeah.
He was there with their guitar player Ben, and he wanted to play a couple of songs. So he wanted to play, but the rest of the band wasn't there. So he asked me and Phil if we could learn a few of their numbers if we wanted to jump up on stage and play with them, if he could talk the promoter into it. So we're like, yeah, whatever, man. Okay. So he went and talked to, Bonan from Antagonizers. He was the guy that promoted that show.
Yeah, Bo. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Bo. Yeah, he promoted that gig. So, yeah, Scotty talked Bo into letting us play in between a couple of bands. I don't remember. I think it was after Bodon's band, Vibram 94. We played after them. So I spent Vibram 94 set backstage with those guys learning the songs. And we jumped on stage and played and went great. Everybody loved it. And
Yeah.
Phil was like, this guy can actually play the bass because I've been playing for a good few years before.
Yeah.
It's never been in a band that really did anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the guy that played in the press and all that in Toledo Panic as well?
No, I
Oh,
don't
that's
think
not
so.
the same
No, you're
guy,
thinking
is it?
about Martin. Martin played in a band out in LA called Headstrong, which is around
Okay.
the same era,
Okay.
like 80. Well, they were one of the first,
Okay.
the first, well, Doug and the Slugs were the first band, but these guys,
I love.
the wave that kind of came after that in the mid to late 80s, yeah, Headstrong, they were part of that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
them and Lions Pride and a couple other bands.
yeah. Definitely.
Weak
Gotcha.
Boys, yeah.
Okay, what got you so
So,
passionate about writing music? What do you love about writing music, man? What got you into that?
well, I don't know. I guess I've just always like been creative. I've always been creative, and I was looking for a good outlet for that creativity, and I
Yeah.
just kind of found it in music. Like I like to write as well. Like I mean, I've done fanzines, a couple of fanzines of my own. I've worked on other people's zines. I've written articles for them.
Hmm.
I co-wrote a book, you know,
Oh,
years back on American Skinheads. Yeah, for with my friend Tiffany. She's an old
awesome.
OG like skinhead girl from the Bay Area in LA.
Huh.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, so I like to write as well. Like I've written since I've been in the Templars, I've written quite a bit of the lyrics, like in like releases since I've been in the band.
Yeah. And so
So
you
I
are
just
you
like
the
to I
main
just like to write.
lyricist? You the main lyricist for Dawn?
No, our singer Dave, he's the main lyricist though. I have
Okay.
some lyric. We're working on some new songs that I've written lyrics to a few of them.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm starting to write lyrics for that band as well, but I'd still say Dave. He's the primary lyricist for Before Dawn.
Is he the vocals as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, he's the vocalist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And you play
I
bass?
play bass. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm jamming. I made a playlist of
Mhm.
all your stuff for Before Dawn, and it's mixing right now. So
Oh, thanks, man.
I love Shattered though, man. It's like you
Thanks.
guys nailed it on that.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're really pleased with the way that recording came out because it was done on a shoestring budget, but we got a really good sound and we worked with a really good engineer. A friend of Dave Enrico's, and yeah, he's worked with a lot of like big industry type of acts. He's got a really good studio, and yeah, we got a good sound out of there, and we're really pleased with it. I mean, we're working on songs now for an album, and we're
Yeah.
probably going to record it there again. And that these, if you like Shattered, I mean, the stuff we're working on now, man, this stuff is next level compared to that. I mean,
Woo, woo.
I am
Uh,
really excited about the new stuff.
I miss that LA scene. I used to love it going clubbing out there, man.
Yeah.
Stigmata, Perversion,
Mhm.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah, yeah.
Those were
It's
the
funny. One time the Templars played in LA and we stayed in Hollywood. This is back in the late 90s. And I remember just taking a walk like around Hollywood Boulevard, like we stayed right off of Hollywood Boulevard somewhere. And I'm walking around and I see all these people dressed in black, like in line. And I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? So I
yeah.
got out of curiosity got the better of me. I went over and was like, hey, man, what's going on? It was some kind of, goth club night. I'm like, oh, cool. So I got in line and like, went. And yeah, had a blast. It was great. I don't know what
And you
event it
never
was.
turned back since.
Yeah, it might
That's
have been
awesome.
Helter Skelter or one of those. I don't really know what the timeline of those events was, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it was around then. It was
yeah.
93. I went in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And so I was up in Hollywood and San Diego a lot,
Oh, okay.
a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, all the way to 98. So
Oh, okay.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, and now ever since I've lived here, I used to go to more of them than I do now. But once in a while, like
There's not a
I
lot
go
I
out to
heard
those. I always have a
anymore.
good time.
I heard there's not very many
Oh
anymore. A
no,
lot of them are gone.
no, a
I
lot of the old ones are gone, but a lot of new ones have taken their place. There's honestly, man, there's like I think almost too much going on. I think the scene is saturated now. Because like Wednesday
Ooh.
through Sunday, pretty much every night in LA, you can go to some kind of goth night, be it
Yeah,
more
there was.
industrial or dark wave based or more death rock, gothic rock based, something. There's something going on Wednesday through Sunday every night of the week. Sometimes there's multiple events. Like we
Those
just played a
days.
show. Yeah, we
What's
just
up with Tuesdays? Never anything on Tuesdays.
Monday and Tuesday. It seems like they kind of decide to take the days off or something. I don't know, but the rest of the week it's like it's
Uh,
and that's just LA. That's not getting into like the events in OC. SGV has stuff going on. It's like the whole area. It's like it's just crazy.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's still a lot going on. I think almost too much because it kind of seems like it thins out the attendance. Or
So, yeah. So now with Before Dawn,
Mhm.
do you found? Have you found yet? You've found your place in this world with
you
this
know,
band, with this
I've had,
project?
yeah, I kind of do. Is I've had a concept for this band for years, and I just never had the time and didn't have the right people to make it happen. So after these varies, we didn't survive COVID. A couple of the guys became dads during COVID, and like when things started opening up, they just didn't have the time to spend
Yeah.
with the band. So Anthony and I kind of got frustrated, and just eventually we just kind of said, okay, we're done. So after that, I kind of was like, I'm going to give this a shot. Because before COVID, what really kicked off me really wanting to do this and get serious about it was I went to an event for a book on death rock called Phantoms at a place called what is it called Lethal Amounts, a little
Hmm.
gallery that was like located like in Westlake. They moved to Little Tokyo now, but anyway, I went to that and a band called the Wraith played
Okay.
out here, and they were the coolest fucking band I had seen in years. I was like standing there like, I want to be in a band like this. I was like, I gotta quit, kind of thinking about this and really try to do it. It
Yeah.
totally blew my mind. So, it kind of percolated throughout the pandemic. And after V's Varies disintegrated, I was looking to do something else. And I reconnected with Dave. Like Dave and I go back with him and Rico and George, the drummer, from the Clit 45 days, because I was a big fan of Clit. I met Dave actually even before the band started. I
Okay.
remember we played Templars played a festival in Phoenix in the late '90s, and I remember this little kid with a big mohawk. This little dude. He was like a teenager at the time, with a huge hawk. It's almost as big as him. Comes up to me, is like, "Hey man, I love your band." Blah blah blah. He's just a nice, friendly little dude. We got
That's awesome.
this kid's cool. So subsequently, he gets, he's in a band. Next time I saw him, he gave me a copy of Clip 45's like demo, a CD of their demo. And I was like,
Yeah.
good. You could tell the songwriting was a little bit above. So, I was like, I kind of from that moment on, I kind of became a fan and kind of followed what they were doing. Whenever they
Yeah.
come through, whenever they come through, I was living in Florida for a bunch of years. Whenever they come through, I'd, go see them. We'd hang out, we became better friends. And, but, towards the 20 teens, we kind of lost touch for a bunch of years. But we
Yeah.
reconnected out here. And, yeah, I ran into the drummer at a cult show actually. And I was like, we talked for a bit and I was like, damn, I should ask this guy if he was doing anything musical. But I didn't think about it.
No.
So I ran into Dave a few months after that and we reconnected and he was asking me, hey, what do you want to do musically? He was fixing
Yeah.
to go on vacation with his girlfriend. But he's like, yeah, man, where are you up to? I was like, at the moment, nothing. He's like, well, do you want to try to get together and do some stuff when I get back? Because we come to find out we were pretty much neighbors. We live in the same area of LA, like a mile from each other.
Wow, that's
And,
cool.
yeah, and I was like, yeah, sure, but he wanted to like do some kind of fun Oi type of project. I'm like, nah, dude. I think the wells run dry with me and Oi. I don't really have
Yeah,
creatively. I don't feel like I have anything left in that department. I'm just
I
fine
get you.
doing in the Templars. I
You
want to do
poured your
something.
heart out, and
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I really left it all on the field with Bees Berries. I'm really proud of everything I did in that band, the stuff we did. We were kind of trying to take it to another level musically, to a higher level of musicianship.
it was intense.
Yeah.
It really was.
And
You felt,
I think we did that. I think we accomplished what we wanted to, but I was like, now's the time for me to really do something different. So I told him, you know what I really want to do? I want to start a death rock band. And he's like, okay, cool, let's do it.
that's my
So
boy.
yeah, so when he got back from Argentina, we hooked up and he called. I told him I ran into George. He's like, yeah, I'm still in touch with him. So he called George up, asked him if he wanted to be the drummer. George was like, yes. So I was like, okay, all we need now is a guitar player. So we kind of asked around for a bit, and couldn't find anybody. So I decided to do a ad on my social media,
Yeah.
looking for a guitarist, and Rico was the only guy that answered. So I'm like, okay, brother, I guess you're the guitar player.
I guess I
Yeah, here
will.
we go.
What
But
am I getting into?
yeah, so that four-piece lineup, that's the lineup that started gigging and
That's awesome.
playing all the songs that most of the songs that ended up on Shattered. But a while later, how we met our fifth member, Matt, a mutual friend of ours, contacted me. I was like, "Yeah, I've got this friend. He was living in Europe for a bunch of years. He just moved back to LA.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. I think you guys would get along. I don't know if you're interested in doing anything musically, but he's a really good guitar player. You might want to meet him." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I, met him, invited him to one of our shows. We were playing a show, and I was like, "Yeah, come on down, see what you think. We'll hang out." He did.
Yeah.
And I was like, we started talking. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's musical mind is pretty much where I'm at. So he might be good in this band. So I talked about it with the rest of the guys, and they met him, and we're like, okay, cool, come to practice. So he comes to practice, and from the moment we played a couple of songs, I'm like, okay, this is it. Now we're, because I was like, like I said, we were playing shows. We had recorded a demo that, turned out pretty good. I'm like, this is cool, but we're not quite there yet. Something's missing. But, yeah, Matt was like pretty much he was the ingredient to the stew that really
The missing link, huh?
that elevated
Were
it
you gonna
from,
say that?
yeah, that elevated it from like,
That's
good to
awesome.
like Michelin star level.
That's cool.
His musical IQ and his songwriting ability and his musicianship just made us, a lot better band than we were even. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with the lineup we've gotten.
That's awesome. So you're doing a bunch of show. Do you have some bunch of shows lined up or all that good stuff?
We just played a punk rock bowling, an after show for a punk rock bowling festival with our Sinners and Coffin Cats. That went really well for us. Really well. Played a great show. Everybody loved it, and yeah.
Good for you.
We just played a show today's Sunday. We just played a show Friday here in LA. That's going to be the last one till next month. Because we're going to primarily concentrate on writing for our album. That's our biggest right now. But towards fall, we've already got some stuff. We're this lined up in the Bay Area. Going to be playing a couple of shows up in Northern California, and we'll see what things go from there. But yeah, we'll be playing out a lot more in the fall.
So, are you thinking about like the beginning of the year, you'll have your new album out?
The plan is we're going to pretty much spend the summer writing for the most part. We're going to play a show or two around Southern California just to keep our name out there. But the biggest priority is going to be writing. So once everything is written and tight, and we're gonna, then we're gonna book studio time. So if I had to guess, I would say probably fall, early winter, probably holiday time or December, January. Probably go to the studio and record and try to get it out like next year.
Yep, try to have you back when you get it done,
awesome,
and you guys could do a promo and talk about every track, and
that would be great.
Get us familiar with the album, your mindsets, and
because it's going to be different.
And get to meet everybody else.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll come back anytime, man.
Yeah, definitely. You're always welcome.
Thank you. The album, I can tell you from the songs we've got now, it's going to be a little bit different than Shattered. The music, the musicianship, and the songwriting is a little bit more sophisticated, and the lyrical topics are a little more, I guess, dark because we're living some pretty dark times right now with all the division and all the stuff that's going on.
So much stuff going on,
but in the world in general. So it's like all that's going to be reflected on the record. But the songs themselves, like I said, are like next level from what we did on Shattered.
See, that's the beauty.
More interesting.
Yep. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No worries, man. Yeah. I think it's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, there is. I was going to say that the music is it's nice that you use it for a tool for healing,
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of sadness and darkness going on right now that could really use that. Mm-hmm. So good for you for doing that. People need to hear that stuff. Sometimes don't want to. Some people don't want to hear it and go the right route, but it needs to be said, and and good job, man. Because sometimes it's hard to get it off your chest sometimes,
Mhm.
a lot of these situations. And I mean, like, even with me, like, I used to be a tweaker at one point, back in my LA years, man, that's what I was doing. Hey, yeah, go to the club and give me a bag, But anyways, no, it's no mas no more.
Yep.
I mean, it's just it's good though. Feels good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
So
the music's always really been my drug. It's like the way I get like, kind of everything out,
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love writing music.
yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful release.
Oh, totally.
I'm hopefully to get my EP out this year. Hopefully,
Yeah, man.
I'm trying.
Yeah, listen to that stuff you sent me this morning. It's cool. I
Yeah, working on it. Yeah, I got like 30 tracks
oh,
ready for that project or more.
oh,
Man,
wow.
I played a 3 hours set one time.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did an open mic. It was an open mic, and no one showed up to
Hmm.
the open mic, but I was hosting it. I'm like, oh well, I might as well give you a show. And so I
Yeah.
just freaking played, and I repeated the very first two songs
Mhm.
as my last two songs
Yeah.
because it was already hours later. I'm like, okay, I can't think of another thing to play now. And I had drums and bass, and all that ready to play. And I played guitar and vocals live. It was
Yeah.
fun.
That's cool. Yeah,
I have it. I have it on YouTube
Oh,
somewhere.
okay. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, we've had a
Uh,
couple of shows like that,
yeah.
before dawn where we're pretty much just, playing to the opening band and they were just kind of in the audience watching us. But I mean, those
It
kind of shows are
happens.
cool. That's good, good. Yeah. We played a show the night the Dodgers won the World Series, and there was like a few people in at the bar watching the game, and it was
Yeah.
just us and the band we played with, and that was it.
Turn down the
We still had a
jukebox.
great time. Those
Because I
kinds of
didn't
shows.
even know that no one was playing. Turn down the
Yeah.
jukebox.
Yeah, it was like a good live rehearsal. It was a good chance to work out some stuff. It was still fun.
That's funny. You know what? Some of those shows are like. I found out to be really, I don't know, awesome. I
Hmm.
don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we.
There was a punk band that I saw in Oceanside,
Mhm.
and there was only 3 people on the dance floor, me and 2 other people, and we danced the whole show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Funeral Oration was the name of the band from Amsterdam.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah. Hmm.
They're darn good, man. Still need a pumping. Anyways, yeah, they did. Yeah, did an awesome show,
Yeah.
but anyways, it doesn't matter how many people are there
Hmm.
for magic to happen.
Oh yeah. And plus, with us, we go hard no matter how many people are in the crowd. We give the same
Right.
effort. Because like I said, I do it as much from probably more for myself than anybody else. It's just like it's a way for me to get out whatever frustrations I'm dealing with at the time. Just kind of release it.
Yeah.
You know.
Isn't it funny? Different genres deal with different situations.
It is. Yeah.
Like the oi. Yeah, it's a working class. This and this and that.
Yeah.
You have your almost guidelines of what to talk about.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing we tried to get away with Vires. Our lyrics were a little bit more. I don't
They
know. Yeah, our lyrics were a
they
little
were
bit different, more
they
personal than your
were
average,
they were
drinking and fighting and all that stuff.
emotionally driven.
Yeah,
Is what
yeah.
I felt. Yeah, I
I mean,
definitely.
I just write about whatever is on my mind at the time. Usually, stuff I'm going through, stuff I see people close to me going through. I mean, I always kind of try to steer more away from direct political stuff, like in my voice, because politics is such a minefield in the voice scene anyway. And
It is.
I don't want to get really mixed up in any of that. But I
It's a
mean,
double-edged sword.
yeah, it is. But with Before Dawn, I'm kind of like letting that, I'm kind of, yeah, some of our stuff on the next record is going to be more politically charged, but
Yeah, I get you. I
yeah.
get you. But yeah, it does. It causes so much. They want unity so badly, and yet they're going the political route, which causes so much division.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's just, I mean, no one's 100% right,
No. Yeah.
So either way, man, we just gotta love each other, man, no matter what.
Yep.
We gotta love each other for differences. We got brothers and sisters that we probably don't like, in our own family,
Hmm.
but we still want to love them because they're our family. And
Yeah.
it's the same way with music, man. It's not a competition. We
Hmm.
just all have special gifts and talents we're trying to share,
Yep.
and hopefully people like it
Yeah.
or people get the message,
Hmm.
and so hopefully you have much success with your band before
Thank you.
dawn.
Yeah, things are, yeah, it's definitely moving in the right direction. And
And
yeah, I'm really, really happy with where we're at right now and where it looks like we're going. So
yeah, you need to get a Facebook page for
I
this.
I created one years ago. Like I created one when the band first started, but I really don't mess with Facebook very much these days at all. I don't
Okay.
really, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to minimize, as much Zuck's involvement in my life as much as I can, to be
I
honest.
only do it,
I,
to be
I can,
honest with you,
yeah,
to expand where I put the interviews, or
yeah, but
when I
yeah,
talk with you guys, I have that avenue. I could use this one, or
yeah.
Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah, like I've been more active about checking my Facebook messages because I kind of got lax about that for a while. I remember I went on one time, I had like dozens of I'm like messages from like a couple of months back. I'm like, wow, I need to start
Yeah.
paying attention to this thing again.
I think there was one for
But
me from like a year ago. I,
yeah,
I messaged
yeah,
you like a long time ago about vice
these, these
yeah,
varies.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
sorry. Yeah.
you're like, check out my other band. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yeah.
And then I put all the
Yeah.
pieces together.
Hmm. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
gotta do we
Because
gotta
we never made a
reschedule.
formal, yeah, these varies. We never made a formal announcement that we were breaking up or anything. It just kind of
uh,
fizzled out and we just kind of left it. I mean, I'm I'm sure sooner or later there'll be some kind of a reunion show or something, but
it's gotta be.
yeah. I mean, right now, like Anthony, he's busy doing his thing with Castillo, and plus he's got his record
Okay.
label and he's, promotes shows here and there. Like Lou, our drummer, is playing with Bomber, who are great.
Yeah,
Anybody out
Bomber's
there
good. Dean.
that likes old school traditional Oi, you have to check out Bomber. Those guys are great. Probably my favorite local LA like Oi band.
Dean Wilson.
Yeah, they've got as a matter of fact, they have an EP. I think it's out. I don't know if it's up on
Yes.
streaming yet, but yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I know it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
it's out. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I saw them. Yep. They were
yeah.
sharing it on their page. Yeah, Dean Wilson.
Mhm.
I love that guy. Good guy.
Oh yeah, Dean's a
Um,
great dude. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
he is, man. There's so many great people that are coming
mhm.
out in that the Oi scene right now. I mean, so many wonderful bands. I became a lot of good friends with Ben. Criminal Damage, Convict
Mhm.
Class,
Yeah,
Marching Orders band, still
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
Orders are
But
good.
now they have Firepower.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there is.
so
Yeah.
anybody you like to say thank you to, man? Like fans, first of all, because obviously you gotta say hi to them and love them to them.
Yeah, thank you
Go
to
for it.
everybody. Yeah, thank you to everybody that, supports the Templars, supported Bees Berries, and, all of you support Before Dawn. I don't know how much of a crossover there is between like Templars fans and Before Dawn fans. There are a few, like there's a few like, faces from the LA scene, that, kind of dig what we're doing, like come to our shows, which is cool, but yeah, just thanks to everybody who supports our stuff. Yeah, check out our EP. The EP is called Shattered. It's available from a label called 31 Records, and I'm based out of Houston. It's a guy Randall. He runs a YouTube channel called the Punk Rock Review, which is a really good channel. You should check
Awesome.
it out. Yeah, he really likes what we're doing. Decided to help us put our record out along with him and our singer Dave. It's like a co-release between that and Dave's new label that he started called Cigarettes and Alcohol. So
That's
yeah, just
cool.
thank everybody that has bought the record, come to our shows. Yeah, we really appreciate each and every one of you, and yeah, just look out for our LP because it's going to be a landmark death rock record. I promise you that. It's stuff is
Okay.
good. I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I know I'm not really delusional. I kind of, if something's like mediocre or not, I kind of know it. I have such a good feeling about the material we're writing now. I cannot wait to, get everything hashed out and get back in the studio. It's gonna be
That's
great.
good, man. So happy for you. Really looking forward to it. And I do know what you're talking about. I got some songs I'm walking on that I'm like, it's like I'm walking on fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fire rocks.
Mhm.
I know this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
And I just gotta do it though. Just gotta
Yep.
do it, man. More rock, less cock. Here on the Roosta Show, man, we had
All right.
my buddy Pel. And I appreciate what you do.
Thank
Much
you.
love to you. And thank
Thank you
you
for having. Yeah,
for
right
all
back.
your years of music and everything you do. And a friend and I'm a follower, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No
We'll
problem,
definitely
man.
do this again sometime.
We will.
All
Keep
right,
in touch.
cool.
You
All
take
right,
care
man.
of yourself.
You too. Take care, bro.
Bye bye.
All right.